right, yes. Thank you for still being there. The 10th day of January 2018. Daybreak Show, Rock City 101.9 FM here in the city of Belkuta Citizens Forum. Dele Ayodo is my name. Once again, good morning.
I'm Tobi Joseph. This morning, it's going to be a whole lot of issues that we'll be looking at, talking about the state of the nation of citizens forum, because we have a senior colleague, a veteran when it comes to journalism, and of course, a lawyer and communications expert in the studio. I'm talking of no one else but Dr. Chief Fassy Yusuf. You're welcome to the Daybreak Show.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Let me quickly add this that Chief Dr. Fassy Yusuf was many years ago, 1993, I suppose, the Commissioner for Information here in Ogun State. Welcome to the show.
It's my pleasure, Dele.
Let's start from this is the early days, the early weeks of the year 2018. Let me ask, um, what events do you think will rule Ogun State in 2018?
Well, of course, prelude to 2019, of course, you expect politics to dominate the landscape. You also expect the issue of economy. So you can say political, economic aspects. Then you can also look at the social aspects where people trying to make a living and trying to see what is happening within the state and what they can get from the state and what the state can offer them and what their contributions to the state could be.
When you say politics, right now the debate is on over which of the zones here in the state should freely be given the governorship ticket come 2019. And luckily, INEC has released its timetable, which means that person must emerge at the last quarter of this year.
Oh, well, I don't think it's something you get on the platter of gold or something you get over a negotiation on the table. It's something you have to work for. It will be difficult for anybody to assign a guess. But if the antecedents are anything to go by, you expect that it's going to be a straight fight between PDP and APC. And the party that produces the best candidate from the whole lot, from each of the two parties, may elect the of the day.
You don't think this argument debate over whether it should be given to a particular division in the state will have any effect, the East versus the West?
You see, my contention, and as a political communication expert, yes, people might talk about the division or the area that you produce a particular candidate, but at the end of the day, power belongs to the people. If democracy is anything to go by, I mean, you expect that the people will decide. So whoever you feel, even if you feel somebody from Ogun Central, that's not to say that the person cannot even win the election. It all depends on the various calculations, the various permutations, and the various strategies that could be worked out, and the tactics that could be deployed into it. So it does not really matter. But at the end of the day, I think these two major parties should bring out the best candidate and they're not restricting itself to a particular thing. Because if you produce a candidate from a particular area, and that candidate is weak in structure, in content, in strategy, in delivery, then you don't expect that candidate to win.
Chief Fassy Yusuf, as an illustrious son of Ijebu land, many have actually pointed out that the Ijebu division is actually interested in the 2019 governorship election.
The whole Ijebu province, you meant to say?
Yes.
That's yes.
Ijebu,
The East Senatorial
District.
East Senatorial District.
Yes.
I mean, it is in the public domain. I mean, it's not an issue we should be debating again. They've expressed themselves that look, it's our turn. If the structure, the initial structure of the state, uh, was anything to go by. You remember there was a Ijebu province, and there was a Eba province. So those two provinces became Ogun State, and then people have suddenly realized that look, why are we talking about the three central districts? Why not the old provinces where we had the Ogun State? We had the Ijebu province, we had the Egba province. And I think that was the basis.
Now,
I'm not a politician, but just for me to analyze the situation.
Okay, when you analyze, and of course, as a son of one particular division, definitely.
No, I don't want to bring any parochial issue into it. But I just analyzed. Don't restrict me to Ijebu province. Just ask me on the basis of what is on the ground or what we have playing out now.
Yes, what we have playing out now is that the Yewas are not saying that they are not part of Ogun State. They are simply saying.
Can I tell you something about this?
Let
me tell you something about this Yewa. When I was a commissioner in Ogun State, I was the one sent to make the declaration of the name change from Egbado to Yewa. I made that declaration on behalf of the state government. I think that was in 1996 or 1995 before we left office. But up to this moment, Yewa is not in the constitution. It's not in the constitution. It's still Egbado. It's still Egbado, and Egbado was a division. So if you contend for that, I will submit that still within Egba province, Remo still under Ijebu province, Ijebu or Ijebu still within the old Ijebu province. So the argument is under there, but it all depends on what the people want. At the end of the day, the people will decide.
Now, when you look at it from that angle, let us take it to the national level. You realize that, just like you said, there was just the Southern Protectorate and the Northern Protectorate before the amalgamation. But up till now, the Southeast, which is part of the Southern Protectorate, is still saying they've not had a go at the presidency because they believe that the Southwest have had it, and of course the South have had it. Yet they are still complaining. That same scenario is playing out in Ogun State. If you look at it, Gbado or Yewa, they are still saying that they've not had a go at the governorship seat in Ogun State. Would it be fair to say, well, there's nothing like Yewa or Gbado not having a go? It's simply between Egba division and Ijebu division.
Let me tell you this. Look, we are only talking about the political gladiators. We're not talking about the voters. Has anybody disturbed any particular area from producing the gubernatorial candidate or producing a governor or producing a senator? It all depends on the people. What do they want? What are they talking about? You're talking about a Bado, let's say, you are now. Who is stopping them? You remember retired Brigadier General, excuse me, Olori came on board.
Yes.
Isaka also came on board, contested, and they lost. So who is disturbing them from winning? The people are saying who prefer to vote for a particular candidate, and you cannot stop them because it's about the majority saying what they want.
Now, what do you think should form the basis of debates that people should look out for?
Before that, you know that PDP produced an Yewa candidate. You remember?
You're talking about 2015 election.
Even 2011 election.
2011 election, yes.
Isaka was produced in 2011. In 2015, who?
Isaka again.
Was it Isaka?
Yes. 2011 Olori.
2011
Olori. Yes, and now you have we had Isaka. So it means they were given the opportunity to contest and they lost. So at the same time around, if they come on board, if people feel like voting for them, they will come on board.
Now, what the question I asked earlier before you made this position known is what should form the basis of who the people will vote for? Should it still be this parochial ethnic sentiment or division playing a power play, or should be about who has the interest of the youth at heart, who is going to tackle youth unemployment, who is going to tackle security, who is going to provide social security and welfare for the people?
Ordinarily, the manifesto of each political party will determine the acceptability or otherwise of a political candidate. But unfortunately, the Nigerian political landscape is devoid of ideology, is devoid of strategy, is devoid of ideas, is devoid of issues. What you have now is we talk about personality. That is, what is the weight of the particular candidate, not what that candidate can deliver, not what that political party has got in stock. In the days of a unity party of Nigeria, in the days of a National Party of Nigeria, in the days of a NPP, in the days of a great Nigerian People's Party, we knew their manifestos. We were able to decipher what the one could do, what the other one could not do. For example, the UPN of those days, we were able to talk about free education, we were able to talk about housing, we were able to talk about employment and all that. Right now, what is the difference between APC and PDP and the other emerging political parties? We don't know. And the APC manifesto, how many Nigerians know APC manifestos? How many Nigerians know PDP manifesto? The only thing they talk about are the personalities in these two political parties. So it is difficult for us to really say on what would be the basis for election. But I will tell you that the basis for election in this country for now is personality.
Yeah, and that's why I want to also ask this question, sir. These are issues we are discussing now in the public domain. We all know the influence and powers of governors in election matters, politics in Nigeria. This is the public declaration of Governor Amosun. He said in 2019 it will have been 43 years of Ogun State, and it will be unfair for the purpose of equity, morality, and good governance that he will support the candidate of Ogun West so that his conscience can clear him that he has done the balancing for 2019. This is an affirmation that the governor also looks at this issue of division, zoning as important in politicking and elections in the state. Can this be thrown into the trash can?
Well, no. You see, you also have to realize the power of incumbency in this country. Especially in politics. Because politics is about personality in Nigeria. Too. It's about money. It's about mobilization, and you need money to mobilize the people. The governor can use his power of incumbency to traverse the length and breadth of Ogun State and use his machinery to mobilize people, and use his also the local government, because APC controls all the 20 local governments in Ogun State. I think there are now 57 local governments and SCDAs. So if they are loyal to him, of course, they'll be able to at least do the legwork, the grassroots mobilization and all the rest. That is to that extent. But you also take into consideration the factor that there could be some more within the system. There could be some black legs. Yes, he might be saying it to his followers, but are you sure that these followers are on the same page with him? Are you sure that some of them would not even have other ideas or other interests? So I can say, because in politics, what is, according to Nigerian politics, what is permanent is the interest of a particular person or a particular candidate. You never can say, you don't vote for Nigerian politicians. And at times they speak with the two sides of their mouth.
You have also said the candidate that will mad or that will win the election must be credible. Somebody the people will be able to vote for.
To relate with.
To relate with. And the emotion, that's the reality right now, of many people goes for the same position of the governor. Is it that that zone in the state, the Ogun West, may not be able to produce that kind of candidate with the character you describe.
Well, I've never said that, and far from that, any part of the state is capable of producing a gubernatorial candidate. Is capable of producing even a presidential candidate, because we have in abundance a lot of sophisticated citizens who have distributed themselves, or who are distributing themselves in their various fields of one endeavor. The point I'm making is that we need to do a lot of consultation, we need to do a lot of mobilization, we need to build consensus, so that at the end of the day there will be no division. Because if there's a crack within a political party, then you are giving room for your opponents to capitalize on your weakness, to capitalize on the crack, to gain a upper hand. You see, APC should put his house in order and ensure there's cohesion, there's harmony. Otherwise, the office may elude them if care is not taken. And that is why the governor is counselled to reach out to build consensus and to ensure that there's cohesion within the party. If there's a division, what happened in 1992 in 1991-92 in Lagos State may play out here.
Okay, let's move away from except we just have political issues to do.
Yes, I would want Dr Fassy Yusuf to please enlighten us on the mood in the palace. You have a close personal relationship with Yahoo Jale.
No, yes, he's my father. I'm a chief of Abuja.
And that's what.
Yes, I'm his advisor. Yes.
So you have a personal relationship with him. He spoke recently about 2019.
I was there.
And you were there. Good. Can you let us into what exactly prompted Abu Jale to make the pronouncement he made?
Well, what he said was that his name was being dropped here and there, and that he never endorsed anybody. That as the monarch, people will normally come to him. Both his friends and enemies will come, and they'll say whatever they want to say. Just like when Goodluck Jonathan came before the last presidential election, and he said, "Look, the best I can do was for me to create a platform, a forum for you to meet my people. You will tell them I only have one vote, and I cannot force my subjects to vote for anybody. And in any case, even if I force them, I will not be there when they're voting." So the same thing he said, that he never endorsed anybody, that the brains behind the Jabu agenda came to him, and they said, they tried to convince him that it was the time for Jabu to produce a gubernatorial candidate, because the principle should be based on the whole Jabu province and Egba province. And he said, okay, go ahead, if that's what you were trying to do, and you believe in your mission and all that. And there was no way you could dissuade them from pursuing their mission. But he only discovered later that it was a satanic agenda, and that they were not having the interest of the people, and that there would have been a lot of under the table dealings. And that was what happened.
All right, let's quickly take you to an issue that is burning right now in Nigeria. This is even snowballing into a fracas between two sitting governments.
Yes,
the crisis that has bedeviled Jos, Plateau State capital, Benue, even Ogun State has not been left behind, or your state, so many
Taraba,
Delta. So this
River State,
even Rivers. This has states that have
even
Enugu State. So these are states that have been at the receiving end of the monstrous and very destructive tendencies of the headsmen, killer headsmen, that we prefer to call them. But what exactly do you think is the way out? What should the federal government or the president do as a matter of urgency?
Incidentally, I was on a television program yesterday. The same issue surfaced. And what I said yesterday, and I will repeat, is that there's a breakdown in the security architecture of this country. Because you have a country
There's a breakdown.
Yes, in the security architecture of this country. It has collapsed. It can only be rebuilt. If you have the country with a state security service, military intelligence service, national defense agency, although external, but then we've been told that some of these Fulani, Fulani ismen coming from other countries. So what's our National Intelligence Agency doing? Then we talk about the country itself. What is the Directorate of, the State Security Service doing? Because the State Security Service is to protect the internal security of this country. What are the military doing? The police, what's the police doing? The police also has the intelligence service and all the rest. We have border patrol of immigration and all the rest. We have other agencies. You also have the Nigerian Defense Army and security
Civil Defense Corps.
Civil Defense Corps. So what are all these agencies doing? Don't you have a way of preventing this thing from happening? When these people come, AK-14, AK-47, another, it's not something you can just put in your pocket. When you see 20, 50 people suspiciously looking, the structure should be able to ask questions. And it does not happen overnight. Is there no way they can infiltrate them and prevent some of these things from happening? So fundamentally, the security architecture has broken down, and it needs to be rebuilt. Again, the parochial interests of Nigerians, an eye for an eye, and I also talk about the Mosaic law, which should not find its place in the 21st century Nigeria. It's a primitive way of doing things. How could a group embark on reprisal? How could a group think of destroying lives? Has any of them been able to create life? If you're unable to create life, why should you take life? And in any case, no matter what Benue State, the Benue State government passed and signed into law, it's commonsensical. How can you allow people doing the economic business destroy other people's business? Now, you have cows. You are not giving your cows free to people. Your cows will just be coming. For example, now in Ogun State, I also mentioned that they've also had that in Ogun State. I remember even when we were in government too, in the 90s, it also happened. You know this Sokoto Badagry highway, the Japan highway. There's a Fulani settlement not too far from where we are. And these people, they are so vicious. So if our security men are not up to the task, then they will continue to cause mayhem. The Fulani men, it is because we have not been able to address the fundamental issue. That look, this is not the way of doing business. You cannot continue to migrate from one place to the other. And in the process, because these cows, they will look for what to eat. And the owner cannot tell them, don't eat this, don't eat that. They're just moving. So anything along the way, they take as a meal. Whereas there should be ranches. You keep them. So if you don't want to ranch them, then create a grazing place, let them buy land and plant grass or grasses so that they can feed on, and they create water for them, get water for them either through borehole or stream or channel rivers to where they can have water, but not allowing them to be roaming about the street. For example, if you're on the highway and you see a herd of cow, about 100 of them occupying the highway, we'll be able to move. So I think it does not even portray us as a serious country before the international community when you see all these cows all over the place and all the rest. Even there's a law saying that you must not allow your pest or your animal to stray, that is to move about. They must be restricted. There's a law on that in Ogun State. It's a colonial law, inherited law.
Another argument about this matter is whether it is appropriate to believe or refer to them as Fulanis. Some people believe that it's not just Fulani, those involved, like you said, are criminals. Not the reference to Fulani will trivialize the problem or perhaps stigmatize a particular ethnic group and then bring them on collision against the other ethnic groups. What's your position?
I do not believe that there's any political undertone in this matter. It's pure criminality. What I got to know from the Fulani man that participated in yesterday's program was that if Fulani man believes in vengeance, he believes that if you strike him, you have to strike back. If he does not strike back, his brother or his kinsman will strike back on his behalf. That if you offend them, if you kill their cows or whatever, they will leave that place, they will migrate out of that place. But they will report to the association, and they will even send mercenaries from Mali, from Cameroon, from Niger, from Chad to attack. And then some of these people attacking, for example, what happened in Benue, they said they could have been foreigners. But the question then is, how did they get into this country? How did they get into this country? How were they able to know the terrain of that area? What were the security people doing? So in this particular case, what I got to know yesterday was that they would have told their colleagues that, look, something happened to us in Benue State. We want you to take care of the situation. And because they don't want people to know them, because I won't know, familiarize themselves with that area. Those people that will come
Will be foreigners.
for the reprisal attack will be foreigners or those people from far off. So you ask yourself, because of our porous borders, the immigration not policing our borders properly, the SSS not policing our borders properly, the police security, when I don't think they're just properly. I mean, you remember the governor of Benue State also saying that even within the last 48 hours, some policemen, even anti-riot policemen, have been killed. So if they could kill this, it means these are militiamen, people who are trained. How could you go and confront the anti-riot policemen? It means either they had a more sophisticated weapon, or they were better trained than the mobile policemen. So we need to really look at some of these things and see what is actually going on.
How would you rate the response of the president to this issue? Yesterday, once again, the Benue State governor met with Mr. President.
Well, I'm a regular guest on television. I've had occasion to say that the president has been very slow in responding to some of these issues. Yes, the response over the last 4 or 5 days has been commendable, but we would not have gotten to this stage if the president has been proactive and responsive. And I think the problem is, I haven't been in government myself before. You see, most of our leaders are isolated from the rest of us. Some of them are not conversant with the goings on. Some of them don't even read newspapers. What they do, they bring clippings, press clippings to them. And the press clippings will only contain things of interest to them. And some of the press secretaries or people in charge of their image making or media or what have you, they will only relate to them those things they want them to hear. And I even tell you, so they said that at times when they ought to listen to news, they will bombard them. They will not even have time to listen to. And all they do is to massage their ego. That you are the best thing that has ever happened to the state, you are the best thing that has ever happened to the country. You are wonderful, you are God sent and not the rest. So at the end of the day, they see the man to his bedroom, and they'll be the first set of people to see the man in the morning. So it goes on like that. So in that situation, I expect the president or the governor to be conversant with what is going on, unless a president or a governor who is determined to say, look, I've come to serve these people, and at the end of my service, I will go back to them. I want to know, I want to be myself, I want to know what's going on. So if you are not on the field, you give it to Amosu. He's always on the move. And most people find it difficult to keep pace with him. But how many times has the president gone out himself? I'm not a member of the cabinet of Amosu. I've never held any post in Ogun State since 1996. But I know that in Ogun State, we're blessed. Our governors are always on the move. When Daniel was there, he was also on the move. So Amosu could traverse from Yewa through Ogun, through Egba to Remo to Ijebu within 12 hours. So if you are not energetic, you cannot do it. But the president, maybe because of his health challenge, has not been able to move around.
Would it have been necessary?
So, for example, if the president had visited, if he had visited Benue, he would have been able to assuage some feelings. If he's able to address, and if he had come on air, national television, national radio, to speak to the people, to address them, to calm them down, and to visit the place.
Let me
and for example, I just sent the IG to the spot. Previously, what the IG did was to send the DIG there, but he has now said, move IG, move your office to Benue State. If so, or if this had been done, you remember this thing had been on for long. Taraba, several years. You remember?
Yes.
Plateau just was a place some of us dreamt of having our second home. It is now a child of someone's cell. The same thing Benue has been reduced. And you know, Benue is the food basket of the country. So we might be having food shortage. We are not careful.
Now, Chief Fassy Yusuf, you just mentioned that Mosul. Let me bring you back to the state. Having served in government here in Ogun State, it's believed that you will also have a good knowledge of the entire state, the terrain, physically.
Yes, I was in charge of community development too.
Good.
Apart
Now,
from information.
yeah, it's so much have been talked about infrastructural development in Ogun State since the present administration came in. At the same time, so much position has also been held about
The
such
lopsidedness.
lopsidedness of the thing. What's your view on this?
Well, I think there are some merits in what people are saying. Well, we'll give it to him that he has succeeded in transforming the state capital. But other parts of the country, also other parts of other parts of the state also deserve better attention. And I think he said he's addressing them. And for example, now if you come to Ijebu, where I come from, well, we've seen some efforts in trying to make the roads passable, and trying to rehabilitate some of the roads, or trying to build or reconstruct some of these roads. We only hope that within the next few days, or before the rain setting, a lot will have been achieved.
Is it true that these governors, that's the style, this same story came up when OGD was there? It was the belief positioned by many people that all he was doing infrastructurally, road construction, was in the east, neglecting the other thing. We are having the same story as this one in, and perhaps people have said that's why the Yewas are insisting that they must also be there. Is this really?
Well, that would be quite unfortunate if I didn't notice that, but because I'm yet to see the roads constructed by Daniel to the neglect of others. I mean, the roads to be constructed in the Ogun East Central District to the neglect of others. I'm yet to see.
So you don't believe?
I don't know. Look, I as an individual, and I haven't come this far. I do not believe in parochial and sentiments. I believe in objective evaluation of things, and given my intellectual background, I don't subscribe to some of these things. I believe that things should be looked at critically and objectively, and within statistics to be able to do a comparative analysis.
Have we also benefited? Have we also maximized the proximity between us and Lagos as a government, as a people, Ogun State?
Of course. I mean, we've seen the effect of the development in Lagos State spilling into Ogun State. I mean, if you look at
are we catching on it? Are we using
yes, of course. Yes.
The I'm talking of government now. Not
yes, that's what I'm saying. Some past administrations and the present one especially. I mean, look at between Lagos and Shagamu, you cannot see any virgin land there any longer. I mean, you look at further area, Uwode, Ishimu, and all the rest. People stay in these areas and they work in Lagos. And if we go to Ayodo area and if you look at Ifo, Ota, Songo, and all the rest, I mean, these are areas benefiting from the effect of nearness to Lagos. And look at Agbara and all the rest. I think what we need to do is to provide social services in terms of a road, market, more estates and all the rest, and to liberalize our the ease of doing business, and we're going to benefit. And I've just been told, I mean, our internet generated revenue has moved from a paltry sum of 700 million to about 5 billion, or if not more, per month. And I mean, that's a quantum quantum leap, and that's a commendable development. And I believe that they were maximizing it. After Lagos State, the next state is Ogun. If not, I think there are more industries in Ogun State now than Lagos. Lagos can talk about commercial like this, but when you talk about industrialization, Ogun State has a better hand.
All right, if you're just joining us, it's Citizens Forum on the Daybreak Show. This beautiful Wednesday morning. We have in studio a former Commissioner for Information, Orientation and Strategy in Ogun State, a former Commissioner for Community Development, and of course, local government.
No. Let me just tell you what it was there. Information, culture, community development, sports, social welfare, and youth.
Wow.
Yes,
that's the ministry.
About 5 ministries now.
Ministries. All right, that's Dr. Chief Fassy Yusuf. He's a lawyer and, of course, communications expert. We got this short break for the national news. When we come back, he will still be here in the studio, and, of course, you will have the opportunity to be part of the program. Stay with us.
Alright, yes, it's good to know that you're still there listening to Rock City 101.9 FM here in the city of Abeokuta Citizens Forum. This morning we have with us a senior colleague, former commissioner, traditional title holder, communication consultant, Chief Dr. Fassy Yusuf. We won't hold on too long. We'll permit you straight away to be a part of it. Let's get your questions, comments, reactions to any of the statements, issues so far discussed. But quickly, let's remind ourselves of what those simple rules are. Number one, you have to move away from that radio when you are putting that call through. There's no use in having the radio beside you when trying to call. It disturbs the communication flow. 2 minutes, that's the maximum time allocated for each call. And
Mr. Tobi, good morning, Dr. Fassy Yusuf.
Thank you.
I'm Ola Oluwabi. I'm calling from Bass. Doctor, sir, you are a great mover, a central player in Ijebu concern. Judging from your antecedents and performance at various times, chairman that great event to do the Oba ceremony. What I can give from your mind and submission this morning, is with widely held opinion in the state. First, APC has to put his house in order so that 1992 for Dele issue as we have spoken does not play out in the state from 2019. If as here, let him hear what the spirit is saying. I think the shoes can still be made. Also, from 2019, you have put everything on the electorate that they are the sole judge. First, I want to ask, how informed are the said electorate in the matter of choice? Also, if they need to make a choice, does not this also come from materials presented to them? Are those material consensus or preferred candidates? Are they the electorate state? I believe also that electorate choice should not begin and end with governorship, but other cadres, mostly House Assembly, well, we have begun to learn and silence so that House Assemblies are copies in bad governance. Thank you very much, sir.
all right, we'll take the questions and impacts and just keep noting them down.
Good morning.
Good morning.
God bless you.
Amen.
I greet the resource person in the house. I am MOK from Ayodo.
Okay, can you speak up a little bit, please?
I am MOK from Ayodo.
Thank you.
I have to appreciate our high chief from Ijebu in the house and the former commissioner. Now, talking on the Yewa issue, you said the renaming came from you to came from the state government through you, and since then no effort has been made again to actually actualize the Yewa name for the Yewa people. That is number one. Number two, you base your gubernatorial election or emancipation from two provinces, that is Ijebu and the Egbas. This will not be. This is an open and archaic method. Now we are having senatorial district. Ijebu has gotten the slot for 2 times. Egba is on the second time. Yewa is yet to actually be given an opportunity. despite the fact that we have contestants from Yewa, yet you know how you do manipulate it that actually goes the way you want it, as you have mentioned Yewa and the person. This time around, it will be Yewa agenda. I wonder why people are so, they are showing sort of apathy, segregation, marginalization, selfishness, and
All right, I'm okay. Approaching 2 minutes.
so it should be Yewa agenda.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. Okay, you can try again. Let's check out the other line. Good morning.
Tobi, good morning. I'm Kaidi from Abeka. Good morning, Dele.
Morning.
Dr Fassy Yusuf, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Great, sir. You are welcome back to Abekuta.
I've always been in Abeokuta. It's not far from me. I'm not far from
I know.
Abeokuta.
Thank you. I got you when you started talking about the 2011 roster of the people that had wished to probably wanted to contest for governorship or probably were having interest in governorship race for Ogun State, up to the issue of Kabiyesi and Daytona. And I just have these questions to raise this morning. For a long time, people of potentials, people that had produced a character that could inspire the confidence and trust of we, the people of Ogun State, and being in governance. Unfortunately, for now, I think it has been eroded because of some people that wanted to put their strategies in governance come 2019. But I believe I know if we begin to turn the pages of history now, it will probably, we will have been able to have people that will have influenced us before now. But unfortunately, we have lost people that can influence other than intimidation, fears, and threats. Do you think it would augur well for the people to vote for stooges or puppets? I'm putting it that way. Beyond any reasonable doubt now, I think people want to decide not for any political party now, but individual. If we see individual that will be able to help us, don't you think it would be better for us to go ahead and do the justice? Thank you very much.
Thank you. We take this call. After that, we'll move away to allow our guests to respond. Hello. Hello, somebody. You are on. 0909146967. Good morning.
Hello. You need to...
Good morning, Mr. Ayodo.
Morning, sir.
Hello, Mr. Ayodo.
We can hear you clearly. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Sir Tobi.
Good morning.
I am Taiwan Yobode from Tap Corner area in Kenya town.
Thank you for calling.
Good morning. Fassy.
Good morning, sir.
Yebo Malare, I know me.
Thank you very much, sir.
God bless you, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm Benny Afion.
Yes. I love democracy. And democracy that we are practicing in this country. But we are not practicing it well. I heard this morning that Jesus said his choice of candidate for APC for Congress 2019 will shock APC. Now, that is illegal, and it does not conform with internal democracy. It does not signify that we are practicing democracy. That is dictatorship. I would have loved that Yewa people would come together and pick somebody from the area and let's have that candidate. I mean, if they don't have any candidate, candidate come from anywhere. Whether from Ijebu or from Egba, that is democracy. But for somebody to say his own candidate will shock his own party, that is dictatorship, and that cannot. So, I am sure I love Governor Amosu, but what he has said annoys me.
All right, thank you. We'll hold on there, move away from the telephone. Chief Fassy Yusuf, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for the various comments and contributions. I think I will start Sarah team. I mean, from the way they came in. First, we're talking about how informed the electorate is. I think they are as informed as we have made them to be informed. Ogun State is a sophisticated society, but you see, what I've been able to get out of the political landscape in the country is that the influence of money is very ambivalent, and until we're able to get rid of money politics, we'll continue to um, rely on those people with fat pockets to dictate happenings within the political arena. So it is my submission that the electorate should be more sophisticated. They should look at the bigger picture. The electorate should also know that pocket infrastructure is not a sustainable infrastructure. There's a difference between pocket infrastructure, which is immediate, maybe 1 day, 2 days, or maximum 1 week, and sustainable development, which will make everybody to be happy, to be comfortable, and believe in themselves, and believe in the future of the state and in the future of their families and the generations yet unborn. Until we're able to see the larger picture, until we're able to embark on sustainable development, development will continue to elude us. That is addressing Mr. Kola Oluwabi's contributions. Then MOK that called him from Ayodo. Yes, at that time, the Egbado people made a representation to the government of the day, and I was sent as a member of the cabinet, not in any particular order, to represent the governor at that assembly, which I did. It was there we made the proclamation of Yiwa, from Egbado to Yiwa. But unfortunately, Egbado serviced in the 1999 constitution. And you know, the Nigerian constitution is very rigid constitution. It's been very difficult to change the constitution. And that is why we have a constitution. And don't forget that the constitution was, the 1999 constitution we are using is very imperfect. It's not the best. It's not the constitution of the people. Unfortunately, they put the constitution for the people, that we, the people of Nigeria. No, it was a military junta that put about 4 or 5 people together to produce a constitution for 180 million Nigerians. And I can tell you authoritatively that even President Obasanjo did not see the constitution until he assumed office. And that's to tell you how dangerous the present constitution is. And ever since, that has been difficult to further change. And because the present crop of politicians are benefiting from the constitution, it's been difficult to change that constitution. And changing the constitution will mean restructuring the country. It will mean addressing the injustices foisted on the people of this country. For example, we have only 17 states in the south and 19 states in the north. And again, some of our revenue are distributed based on the size, based on population and all the rest. And again, you also know that the population of this country, the statistics are unreliable. And there's so many issues involved. And that's why the constitution cannot even be. If you look at Lagos, for example, now, since Lagos State was created, it was 20 local government areas. Up to this moment, 20 local government areas. And the constitution says a state can produce, can decide to have the number of local governments it wants, and all you need to do is to transmit to the National Assembly for ratification. But up to this moment, Lagos State have not been able to ratify its own, and the Ogun State that has now having 57 local government areas and all the rest have not also been able to ratify the district. So we may have 57 on paper in Ogun State, but as far as the constitution is concerned, we have 20 local governments. Lagos State, as far as we are concerned, we have 20 local governments. And don't forget also that that was what made the president, the former president Obasanjo, to deny Lagos State of its allocation. So all these issues are there until we sit down properly to address the fundamental injustices in this country, until we agree on the restructuring the country, until we agree on fiscal federalism instead of a unitary system of government, or if we decide to have a confederation, then development will continue to elude this country, because most of these things are based on extraneous indices or criteria. Population, size, and all the rest. Some states in the north have been brought into 3. While some in the south have never been brought into Jew. So I think okay, we can move away from that. Let's move on to the issue that Iba and Ijebu provinces and regions and all the rest. Nobody is stopping any part of the state from producing a presidential gubernatorial candidate and all the rest. It all depends. So if you want to talk about the issue in this country, I think it is because we've not become a nation. Because we are a country of several nationalities. We are over 250 nationalities making up Nigeria. But until we agree that we are all Nigerians, where I, as an Nigerian woman, can move to Kano and settle down there and become a citizen of Kano, then we are not yet a nation. And I can tell you this, that look at the history of Nigeria. Obasanjo, head of state twice, from Abeokuta. Shonekon, from Abeokuta. Abiola, from Abeokuta. Why are the other parts of Yoruba land not complaining? Anybody from Ondo? No. Whereas action group started in Owo, in the home of Ajasin. Anybody? Have you seen anybody from Oyo? I mean, from Ibadan becoming a head of state? Have you seen anybody from Oyo or from Ilefe, the cradle of Yoruba civilization? And I think we should stop being parochial. But I give it to you that Yewa should also produce the governor. But you need to put your house in order. Nobody's preventing the Yewa from producing the governor. But when you are divided within yourself, you cannot achieve anything. So put your house together, get a formidable candidate, and others will support you. But if you produce a Lilliputian, then if another part of the state produces a giant, then you expect that giant to win the day. And of course, you cannot rule out the effect of money politics. And that's why I'm appealing to the electorates to be sophisticated, to know that what should be paramount is sustainable development. I think I don't know, nobody is being marginalized. It's a fiction of the imagination of people. And people are docile. They are they think that things should be given to them on the platter of gold. No, you have to work for it. You have to work for it. Get your acts together, produce a formidable candidate, and the rest of the state will vote for you. There's no marginalization anywhere, I think. And Kayode from Abeokuta. Yeah, well, yes, but when you talk about the erosion of good people from the politics, yes, I agree with you, and I am also part of the blame, because when good people run away from politics, then we allow miscreants to pretend over us. Someone like me, I'm not a politician, I'm not registered with any political party. I ought to be in politics, but for personal reasons, I've chosen not to be a politician. I'm always on the fence, but I contribute to national debate and air my views every now and then. I'm a regular contributor to national discourse, but I don't have the strength, the stamina to be a partisan politician. The stages in power, well, I do not talk about that. I believe that whoever should be in power should be people made of external stuff. To be people who can take our people, or take the country, take the state, take the local government to the Eldorado. That is the promised land. To what extent can people influence the polity? Well, people can influence the polity through advocacy, through sensitization, through mobilization, and all the rest. And of course, you need money to do all these things. But I believe that the structure should be such that people can be mobilized, people can be educated on seeing what is good about democracy. And democracy should be about the people, for the people. And the center point of politics is the people, the interest of the people. And we must endeavor to see that you engage the people so that they know what to do at the right time, and they are able to contribute. They have their rights, they have their responsibilities, and also have their opportunities. And what will go well? Well, democracy will go well, because like former President Clinton said, democracy may be slow in bringing about development, But without democracy, there can never be sustainable development. So with time, with evolution, we will get to the promised land. But our people should also encourage those in power to deliver the goods. Because when you put too much pressure on what those people are put there, you corrupt the system, you allow them now to compromise. That's the problem we have in this country, because we're always seeking for patronages. And our people there, they capitalize on it. In the process of trying to satisfy the people, they also satisfy their own pockets. So let's put less pressure on them. The people should decide, and as I said, the people is the corner piece of politics. It is the end of politics. Then talking about my brother Satawo, your body. Well, we all know that we have not got into the promised land. We only pray that we get to the promised land. And democracy, as I said, should be about people, and about people. Yewa should be encouraged, and they need to encourage themselves. And dictatorship should not have any say in politics, because a dictator, this is not a military administration, and democracy should be allowed to thrive. And I believe that the politicians should be Democrats. Politicians should be Democrats who must believe in the supremacy of it. And that's not to say that the leaders cannot sway actions. They can, because of the privileged positions they occupy. But at the end of the day, the will of the people should prevail.
All right, can we check the messages on short code?
Yes. Ikichuku Olisa sent in this message. Please, sir, is zoning of leadership in the Constitution? If no, it means there is danger if care is not taken, because the pilot has spoken and there is no going back, whether with the people like whosoever you appoint or not. So let's stop pretending or deceiving. Let's stop pretending or deceiving ourselves. My advice to Governor Musu is to leave Yewa Awori alone, to pick a popular candidate that we accept, that will be acceptable to the people of Ogun State, and face how to settle workers' 18-month cooperative deductions and gratuity of pensioners from 2011. Shola sent in that one. Good morning, Chief. It's very disturbing that these headsmen have taken over the security strength of the Middle Belt and the south of Nigeria. Could it be concluded that Mr. President's health status is not making him act the way of a general? You should know that these murderers are terrorists, except that certain things are hidden from us. We should not wait for Benue to happen in Ogun, with the latest happening in Kumi of Yewa North. Kayode from Randa sent in that one. I hail Chief in the studio. I can now see that we expect that Ogun State people should expect a shocker. Then let Yewa people stand as one in order to present a candidate, or else the government will shock them with Bimbo Ashiru. That's coming from Nosola Sukomi. Alright, Chief Fassy Yusuf, do you think vote of the electorate count in elections in view of imposition we often witness? An individual or group of people vowing to stop a presidential hopeful from realizing his ambition, and truly the threat will be actualized. Fola Akemi sent in that message. The politicians have reduced Nigerians to dust. No governor should dictate who the next governor should be or where he should come from. The people know what they want. In 2019, we should not vote on political parties or tribal lines, but on the basis of candidates presented for election. Governance should be based on qualification, competence, and not on sentiment for any appreciable development in the state. Thank you. Kenny Additional from Ashiru sent in that one. Alright, let's quickly check out the tweet also. Delani Robert tweeted this. It is good to be outraged with the current political configuration of PDP and APC, but please, activists don't win elections. Politicians or people who get their hands dirty with politics do. Enough is not enough. Only on Twitter. We must go to our words. Delani Robert, once again, since 1960, this is the first time Nigeria has had a sufficiently long democratic period for us to realize the futility of playing the election game with the political class. why many now see that fighting PDP and APC simultaneously will end up benefiting the masses. All right, more tweets. This one from, okay, Delani Roberts. Still, G is the cliche, GJ is a disaster. People joined the queue. Buhari is a savior messiah. People joined. We need automatic new party that's neither APC or PDP, and people still want to join. Don't think for yourself. Be doing like who they are remoting. If those who told you let's try APC in 2015 because they thought they would be part of the APC government and now telling you APC and PDP are the same, maybe it's time you did your research by yourself and look for various parties' differences. All right. Let us forget about Buhari, APC, GJ, PDP, ABGA. Let's forget about politics. Mention one single thing that is working in Nigeria. Just one. And the most unfortunate part of this is that there is no hope that anything is still going to work. This is a tweet from Dolani Roberts. No matter the story you tell us, it doesn't change the fact that PDP and APC brought this country to its present shambles. PDP mismanaged this country for 16 years and APC continued from where they stopped. Why bother about the difference between them if we get the same result? Have you ever imagined living in a Nigeria that is governed by a political party that is neither PDP nor APC? Have you thought of it? What it will be like to live in a country whose leaders belong to a new, progressive and spirited generation and not the same old stock? I don't think a third party is an option. We are barely 1 year to the elections, and I do not see any other party strong enough to challenge the APC or PDP. Let's channel our resources towards supporting good governance, credibility, and selfless service. Those are tweets from Dolani Roberts. All right, Surakat Abiodun says, looking at the performance of the economy, sir, we had just one agency making above 1 trillion naira. Please, what is the justification for government borrowings here and there? Okay. Akrede Camille says, I don't think electorates are informed, rather they are instructed, and that can only make self-government succeed. Democracy is a daring concept, and I hope that we will be best governed if all of us participate in the act of governance. It's meant to be a conversation, a place where intelligence and local knowledge of the electorate sums together to arrive at actions that affect a number of people. Sir, how best do you think the problem of herdsmen could be solved in this country? All right, this is from Akorede Camille. The issue of herdsmen has been tackled. Unique Adebayo says, well done, Chief. Don't you think the politicians will rig this next election? With this Yewa turn being proclaimed up and down. Who is to present a candidate of a party, sir? Is it the governor or the party? That is a question from Surakat Abiodun. Professor Agola A says, just to say well done to the fellow Akokite in the studio. You have spoken well. We must all get our voters card ready for 2019. That's Professor Agola AAA. There should not be any automatic candidates. Let us vote and review the winner. There's nothing like Yiwa, Ijebu, or Eba. That's Unique Adebayo. Chief,
Your reaction to any of those positions?
Well, I think it's commendable that your station is attracting a lot of listeners and a lot of contributors, highly informed ones and sophisticated ones at that. Let me try to take them to the best of my ability. The zoning is not entrenched or enshrined in the Constitution. It is an arrangement that was propagated by the likes of the late Dr. The former Vice President, Ekweme. It was an arrangement to take the nation out of the quagmire it found itself when it was discovered that the North was dominating the governance of this country. And I think to some extent it has worked, but ordinarily, zoning should not be a criterion for leadership, because the best candidate should normally emerge. And if you talk about competence, talk about capability, talk about the pedigree of whoever is going to be our leader. But we have taken to the level of parochialism. We have taken to the level of ethnicity. We have taken it to the level where we believe that if it's not my kinsman, it should not be there. And that is why we have not been able to get the best out of this country. In America, time was when Bush was president, the son,
Bush Senior.
Bush Senior was president, the son, president, the brother, governor, even the brother also wanted to become
Senator.
no, become president. Clinton, president, the wife,
Senator,
and also wanted to become the president. No, she lost narrowly, but she got the popular votes. But can we have that in this country? I pray that one day our political journey will get to that bus stop where you can choose on the basis of competence, capability, and a pedigree. I pray so, and I hope it will happen on my time. Governor Amosu was a politician and as a leader is entitled to his own opinion. He's entitled to his own preference. At the end of the day, it is the political party that will speak. He might have some influence because of his position. He might be able to carry the people along. If he has the power of persuasion, if he has the power of mobilization, he might succeed in having his way. He has spoken about his preference and all the rest. Well, it all depends on the people. At the end of the day, people will decide. And I hope objectively too, the people will be able to decide. Well, if you look at the political palpitation or calculation in Ogun State, yeah, we consider the fact that yes, the Yewa division of the state has not produced the governor. But as I said earlier on, and I'm going to say, nobody, it's not written anywhere that Yewa division should be prevented from producing governor. Neither has it been said that they are not capable of producing the governor or a governorship candidate. They produce governorship candidates in the past. They produce governorship candidates in the past. But that, to my mind, the political calculations or the political strategy put in place had and are still not allowed them to get their candidate to emerge as the governor of the state. And I believe one day, sooner than later, Yewa will be able to produce a governor of the state. But then you should put his house in order and look at his strengths, look at his weaknesses, look at the opportunities available to them, and look at the threats to those opportunities, and see how they can get the best candidates to emerge. In a situation we have about 10 candidates from Yewa alone, and again, considering the population of that area, I think they need to put their house together so that they can channel their energy and their resources towards getting a candidate that will be acceptable to the majority of the people. Then talking about the Fulani herdsmen and others, you see, what I've said is that in any economic endeavor, the indices of an economic enterprise should be at play. If you have cows, the cows are not be given free to anybody. If you have a farm where you produce rice, you produce cassava and others, none of these produce is being given to anybody free. So, if it's not being given to you free or to anybody free, then you have factors of production. You must be responsible for the factors of production. So, it is not in the interest of the majority of the people or the country that a particular economic enterprise like cattle rearing and all the rest will depend on other people's resources free, and at the same time this item is not given to these other people free. Nobody will give you a cow free of charge. So why should a cow now, a cattle now be allowed to go into another person's farm to eat up the yam tubers, to eat up the maize, destroy other economic activities going on in that particular place? It is economic genocide. Apart from the human genocide that is being committed here and there by this militia, Fulani militia men, it is also economic genocide, and it is unacceptable, it's untenable, it's indefensible, and it's condemnable. The government of the day should rise up to the occasion, and the security architecture that has collapsed should be rebuilt and should be done in such a way that every security apparatus is alive to its responsibility. And if those people there are not doing the job they ought to do, they should be fired. See, enough of this lethargy, enough of this reaction. You can never. I mean, if in management, reactive management can never succeed in modern day management. You have to be proactive. You have to anticipate things. You have to be able to build mechanisms that will be able to actualize things. Not that when things come up, you react. Then when we talk about the economy too, you need strategic efforts to be able to take the economy forward. Not that when things will come, you react to those things. Tomorrow again, you react and all the rest. No, you must plan ahead. And as you go along, you will build in mechanisms that will modify or take care of certain things, either unforeseen circumstances or issues that are coming in, so that your plan can be updated from time to time. On well, as I said, you should be given the opportunity, but then yes, and will the voice of the people count? Well, your guess is as good as mine, and what I've said, we must embark on advocacy, mobilization, sensitization, and must let the people know that look, pocket infrastructure is temporary. What they should aim at is sustainable development.
All right, just one call,
then
and then okay.
Complacency among I hope that is going to be taken care of. Then we're talking about fighting APC and PDP. Well, I only hope that Nigerian electorates will, as they say, the popular panel, they will shine their eyes and know the right thing and do the right thing, and that the voice of the people will count. Then a new party will hope that time will tell, and there's no difference. And we also talked about well, I'm not the PDP and APC one are the same. And we have a new party from APC and PDP. But I think the people also decide that there are a lot of, I think there are about 19 political parties in Nigeria now. The people have the choice of choosing from many of them.
All right, let's add this question quickly. Okay. It's a tweet from Surakata Ayodo. According to the New Year broadcast of the president, he opined that the problem of Nigeria lies in the process and not structure. What is your own opinion, sir?
The structure, you see, as we say in law, you cannot build something on nothing and expect that thing to stand. Any structure that has a weak foundation will collapse. The Nigerian state, the Nigerian experience is based on a faulty structure, and that's why it has not been able to stand. You see, in a situation where some state will just come to the center, collect something, it doesn't allow for initiative. It doesn't allow for strategic thinking. It doesn't allow for people to want to put in their best. So, structurally, Nigeria is not strong. So it's either we'll put down the structure and rebuild, or we'll find a way of strengthening the structure so that we can have a better state. So Nigeria requires a better situation.
More messages, please.
All right. Surakata Ayodo once again, character, competence, and capability. That makes the 3 C's. Do you think the present crop of leaders have these ingredients to take our democracy to the promised land? Right, that's Surakata Ayodo. Another tweet from Professor Agola AAA says, only we the electorates will determine what will happen in Yewa come 2019. Whatever anybody says now remains speculation. You want to quickly react to that?
Yes, of course, I cannot agree more with the learned professor, my brother from Federal University of Agric, and a great cockite like myself. The people will decide, and I hope the people will be allowed to decide, because as an analyst who has been involved in political analysis over the last 18 years or 19 years. I know that money politics is still very much around, and I hope this time around the electorate will be educated enough, will be sensitized enough, will be mobilized enough to know that money politics is dangerous, and that is like killing the future of this country, of this state, of the local government, of your town, of your local government, I mean of your town. So I subscribe in its entirety to your submission that the votes of the people should count. And I think the voters themselves should shine their eyes. They should be able to police the polling booths, or whatever the law says. Maybe you have to keep a distance, but keep a tab on what is happening, and that the results should be announced from that polling booth before being transmitted to the collation center. And I think with that, and the people should also not compromise. And well, character, competence, capability. Of course, what we have in other climes, and they should be allowed to reign supreme in our land.
All right, I think that's much we will be able to take. We can't take any more calls because of our time. Your final word, Dr Fassy Yusuf.
Yes, I want to see Ogun State development becoming the Eldorado, the state of our dream, where peace will reign, where development will be the focal point, and where there will be no acrimony, where there will be no division, where the people can reign in peace. I also want Ogun State to gravitate to the level where we always prefer the best candidate, not on the basis of ethnicity or clannishness, a division of clannishness. So I want a state of our dream. I also want a situation where the electorate should be sophisticated enough and do away with money politics. And again, they should not allow themselves to be used as cannon folders by politicians. Because at the end of the day, the politicians themselves are not the only one acting. They hire people. So why should anybody allow himself to be used as a cannon fodder to destroy, to maim, and all the rest? Why don't you listen to the presentation of a particular candidate and the other candidates and decipher, or perhaps analyze what they have and engage in open debates and be more sophisticated in deciding? For example, that America got the type of president he deserved, and some of them are regretting now. They may impeach him, they may not, but they got what they wanted because Trump was speaking the minds of the people. What some of them could not even say, but what they wanted. So the same thing in Nigeria here. Why don't you vote for people who can deliver our agenda of development, agenda of emancipation, agenda of togetherness, agenda of harmony and development?
All right, we sincerely thank you, sir, Dr. Chief Fassy Yusuf, for coming on the Daybreak Show, Rock City 101.9 FM this Wednesday morning. Thank you once again, sir.
My pleasure. At least I've come now. I think I came, I saw, I participated.
Right, and of course, all of you there who've been listening and enjoying the program, I'll say God bless you all. God bless Nigeria. God bless Rock City. Dele, Ayodo remains my name.
And I am Tobi Joseph. Have a wonderful Wednesday.